Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. So we'll start with this basic thought that there's no one who could be born or who was born or who could be in the future born to Allah. No one. There's no one. He begets none. So today is the part of the lecture. We have different parts of it, of the journey from classical to postmodern philosophers. So we have taken today the philosopher that's a great philosopher having the greatest influence on Indian philosophy, Vedic philosophy what we call, and today we are talking about Shankara, or Adi Shankara, what we call him. Adi Shankara. Adi Shankara. Who was Adi Shankara? Adi Shankara was, I will say first, he was a person born in Canada, now called Kerala. Now called Kerala. So there is a dispute about the date of birth, that we normally see that's 788 CE, or we call him the 8th century great saint and scholar of the Vedas. When we talk about Upanishads, we call also Upanishads as Vedanta. Vedanta. What does Vedanta mean? Vedanta, we have different schools of Vedanta. And one school I wrote here that's about the Adi Shankara, I will write here, Vedanta. What Vedanta means here, Ved means knowledge, and Ant means end. So Vedanta means the end of knowledge, or what is about the end of Vedas, where Vedas do end. So there is a debate we can have, is there the end of knowledge, or is there any beginning of knowledge, or is there any middle of the knowledge, or what we call that we can accumulate knowledge by the help of your experience, what we call empirical knowledge. So according to my theory, we have taken the empiricism as a wrong term, and I also follow this thought that empiricism is right, but what types of empiricism are? I believe personally there are two types of empiricism. One is this what we call worldly empiricism, and one is spiritual empiricism. I don't go to the thoughts of those empirical scholars and philosophers. They say that there is no divine. No, spiritual empiricism is this, that once you experience the events in the spiritual journey, because there is a spiritual journey, and then there too you experience things. So it's not wrong to say we are just quoting rationalism, a different term, and empiricism, a different term. Let we have a common term. One is spiritual empiricism, one is this empiricism. In spiritual empiricism you also experience something. When you go for meditation, when you go for zikrs, it means you come to know something, you experience something different. That's a spiritual part. So I would say that this Adi Shankara was born in Canada. First we'll give a small sketch about his life history. As I did say, he was born in 788, and there is a dispute, but scholars, modern scholars, they have come to this conclusion that maybe this is the date. In those scholars we have Radhakrishnan, we have Max Muller writing about India, this Indo-Iranian language. He did Indo-European what we call Indo-Proto-European language, or Aryan. He has a great research about that, and they come to this conclusion, maybe the date is 788 to this 820. And because this is the Gupta period, people believe that he was born in Gupta period. Else we don't have common elaborated sketch of his biographies. And he died the very young age, as per the scholars. They said he died at the age of 32 years only. 32 years only. That means he produced this greatest influence. It reminds me that when his father died and he advised Shankara that death is not an enemy to you, it makes your union with that person, as he quotes there, when the this rain falls in the ocean, it mixes with the big one. So this was a thought produced by the father. And then the teacher who was teaching, he was there in Sanskrit school, he was teaching there. He also followed the same way of advice at the time of departure from this world. So he was greatly influenced from the very beginning, and he often talked to Mother Shankara that he would go and get the renunciation from this world. Maybe Mother did not accept first, second, third, and then once it's event going on in legends that he did swim in the river, and then Mother did think that it's better he dies there, better his renunciation, and he better lives 100 years. So Shankara, he did ultimately renounce everything and would go to search the ultimate reality. And he was the founder of the greatest influence in the school of Vedas, what we call Advait Vedanta. Advait Vedanta. So I'll write here Advait Vedanta. So what's Advait Vedanta? Advait is a Sanskrit term, and it means itself the no second. So the culmination of the knowledge, Vedanta, the culmination, the end of the knowledge speaks that there is no second. No second. There is no second reality. So whatever is produced here in this universe, your individual souls or the universe, it is actually the creation from his Maya, is as per Advait Vedanta. So he was the founder of Advait Vedanta, the Vedic school. We have a number of Vedic schools, some 10, but the greatest influence of the Vedic schools, that was of three great persons who are talking about the non-dualistic thought, and then they differ from what we call Shankara, Adi Shankara. The three persons, those three persons are, one is itself Adi Shankara, what we also call ShankarAcharya, and Ramanuja is another one. He was the founder of Vasisth Advaita, the school of Vedas, what we call Vedanta, and another is Madhu Acharya. So I'll write here three different persons. One is Ramanuja, and here is Madhu Acharya, and then it's first here Adi Shankara. So Adi Shankara says, ShankarAcharya, there is no dualism, there are no two realities. So he considers the ultimate supreme reality, Paramathika, he says, the ultimate supreme reality. And Ramanuja says there are two realities. He says ultimate reality is the God, but individual souls and this world is also the reality. And one more thought propounded by Madhu Acharya, I'm also greatly influenced by Madhu Acharya. He says that individual souls and whatever is in this universe, that is subservient to God. So they are different from God, they are servants. The human beings, they are servants. The individual souls, they are also real, but they are separate from God and they are servants of God. So herein we differ by these different thoughts. Shankara was born in Kerala, what we call now Kerala. When he renounced the world, he traveled a lot and he reached what we call Narmada. And that time, if we first go for the critical analysis, why Shankara did say there is not second reality, the culmination of knowledge, or what we call Vedas, these Vedanta Upanishads are the final proof of the Vedas, what we believe. As there are three different basic texts which in Hindu philosophy we consider the greatest texts. One is the four Vedas, and another is this Bhagavad Gita, and we have Upanishads. So Adi Shankara was the greatest ever, copious, voluminous commentator of all these sutras, Brahma Sutra, this one Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita. So he takes thoughts from these. We'll take later step by step, and you'll be with us. When he reached Narmada, he reached there and he joined the group what we call Govinda. He was his the mentor. Govinda was the mentor of Adi Shankara. In Om Shankarya, what we call this, that's the place that near this what we call Narmada. That time there was the influence of Mimamsa school of thought. When it was Adi Shankara, it was the beginning, or he was in that very childhood, he lived not too much, and there was a what we call ritualistic school was most influential school that time. It influenced all the people of all the walks of life. That means the religion of ritualism, religion of rituals. So it continued. So there was a great criticism done by Adi Shankara about this. So this was a basic thought about this Ramanuja's Visist Vedanta, Visist Advaita was the school founded by Ramanuja. So what these schools talked about, we're only going for the introduction. What these schools are talking about, all these schools of Vedas, these Upanishads, they talk about three categories. One category is God, he's a divine figure, God. Another category they talk about is the soul, and another category is the world. That means three categories are often vehemently discussed in the Upanishads, Brahma Sutras and Bhagavad Gita. But they differ somehow in their approach. So when we talk about Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta of Adi Shankara, we talk about his thought about the reality. That means non-dualism. There is no second reality. Another thing that we have to go and teach and we have to learn things is about the what we call this Maya. We have to study Maya as well, another category by him, and the soul, and lot other things like Vidya and avidya, knowledge and ignorance. So it was first scholar who talked in a broader sense about the comparison between Buddhism and Hinduism. He believed that Hinduism is all about to know self, all about the soul. They confirmed the soul, the existence of soul. And he said that it was Buddhist who denied soul, who did not accept soul as the category they're talking about. So this was the first categorization that to separate this school from the orthodox school of Hindus. But later we see that some believe Buddha is this avatar of the Vishnu or Shiva somewhere. So that will be also taken. So these were three different schools, but I will just go for the comparative. We have also the thought in Islamic philosophy that every ayah is considered to be the real theory. Not only the theory, whether that will be proved or not, we believe in these as the true words of Allah. And we don't have other options, we don't have other opinions about it. And it's also said that there are two basic theories, that one is the purification of the soul discussed in the words of Allah, and one is if you corrupt your soul, you are the loser. And there is ayah from this, what we say, the Muslim philosophy. The ayats, what we call that, these are from Allah, revelations. Kad aflaha, we say, man zakkaha wa qad khaba man rasaha. These are two different theories in one ayah. One is kad aflaha, and he said that those people are successors. Those people success in this world, get success. They are succeeded, and if they come with the purification of soul, that means purification of soul is needed. If you have to go to Allah, if you have to go to God, purification of soul, and then said waqad khaba man rasaha, and you become a corrupted one. You become a loser if you corrupt your soul, if you corrupt your soul. And also it is said that when it will be a doomsday, it will be a doomsday, those people will see that their children, their wealth, their every belonging of theirs is of no use there. But only one thing that's of great use there, that is man atallaha biqalbi salim. That means those will come with the purified heart. So sometimes we here in Islamic philosophy said Atallah means that they come with the purified soul, with the purified heart. Biqalbi salim means purified heart. So sometimes this heart, along with that very little beneath the heart, maybe soul, that's wholly considered heart. Those who come with the purified soul, purified heart, or again it is said that you go for the purification of soul. So what are the ways of the purification? We will later discuss in comparative philosophies of Islamic and this one. So Adi Shankara was the person who believed that there is only one reality, that means God, and those things beneath, they are created from the Maya. Now, how to understand these two things in a greater sense? Why they say that this whole is unreal? But we are here, according to Advaita Vedanta, we are unreal people. It somehow looks as the theory of forms by Plato, when he says that these forms in this world, they are the imperfect, these things, and they are the imperfect copies of the perfect, which is in that world, doxa and didoxa, what we call. Same is here. Let me think how they propagate their thought, how they make you understand the thought. The term I will use here, paramathika, and pratibhasika and vyavharika. So these are three things here: paramathika, pratibhasika, and vyavharika. I will quote an example here. For example, if I go in the sun outside, and because of this sun I produce a shadow. My shadow is the pratibhasika, what we call this. This is the reflection. Reflection, and I am there standing. I am vyavharika. That means I am real. I am not unreal. I am vyavharika. So I am in empirical one. That means I can experience, but my shadow cannot experience. I can think. In that sense, I am real, but still, this is considered to be unreal in Advaita Vedanta, in Shankara's philosophy. And what's the real? That's paramathika. That is the absolute or the supreme reality. One is reflective reality, supreme reality. And they say that when you purify your soul from in vyavharika, in experimental, in this experienced world, and if you go for the purification, you get moksha. We will be talking in next part also about moksha. You will get this, what we call mukti, janam mukti, what we call, and you have the chances in this world not to get rebirth, or maybe we can say that this is the thought. I personally don't believe in this, because later we will see that there is the school, there is the tradition started by to pray to this Vishnu, pray to Shiva, pray to others, and then they think that this is the common reality. That also we'll talk about. But I am greatly influenced because maybe some later people, they attached different thoughts to Shankara, which he would not have propagated, which would not have philosophized those thoughts. So this supreme, I will give an example. If there is a mirror, and when I go and my picture is there mirror or in photograph, so in my picture is there in photograph, and when there my picture is in mirror, can that picture produce actions? Can that picture produce thinking? Can that picture experience things? No. According to we people, we are in the Vyavharika, in this experienced world, empirical world, what we call. We believe that that's an unreal thing. We have strict belief here because we know that this is the mirror, this is my image there. Whatever I produce, that will be shown. Even if that will be shown, this left will be shown right, even unreal that too. So we believe that's unreal. Here we believe we are real. Maybe Descartes says that because I can't think that way, it makes me to believe that I exist somewhere. But this existence itself, which fully the Advaita Vedanta says not fully that it's unreal, it is real. But according to comparison, when we compare empirical, this pratibhasika reflective with this empirical Vyavharika, we come to understand this is unreal. And when you come to the stage, when you compare with this Paramathika, the supreme reality, in that stage, when you look towards, if you reach to that stage by purification of soul, and if you look down, you'll see that this stage where you were in, this is itself unreal. This is itself unreal. So this was a basic talk about, but please do follow the next talk on this Adi Shankara. We'll be talking greatly about the thought, about this, about the different things. So let me conclude here. He met Govinda. He went and he left Kerala. He reached to Narmada river, where he met him, and he was initiated. And then he started, and it was said by Govinda that we have here, and also in one of the stories it is said that one person was in the garden of coconut garden, and he was making the theft of coconuts, and the coconut owner did leave the person, did not punish the person. And it was said by Shankara to this owner, why did not you punish that person? The owner said that his punishment is enough. This is the punishment of soul. This is the punishment of soul. This is enough. Herein, it reminds him later when he was said that nobody takes care. Nobody takes care, because the gardener has explained and given the reference of Upanishads, that what Upanishads did teach, we don't consider that teaching in our society. And Govinda, he did initiate him and directed him to go for the translation, go for the commentary of these great texts. And then he started. And at the age of 32, he died in Uttarakhand, what we have today, the place in Uttarakhand. He died there. So the biographies of ShankarAcharya, those biographies are called Shankara Vijaya. Shankara Vijaya. I'll write here, Shankara Vijaya. So it's believed that we have some 14 different kinds of biographies written on ShankarAcharya. Shankara Vijaya. Shankara Vijaya. And some of the biographies which we have, that's called Guru Vijaya. Guru Vijaya. And the best ever oldest biography that's written, that is Brat Shankara. That is Brat Shankarya Vijaya. I'll write here, Brat Shankarya Vijaya. Brat Shankarya Vijaya. So 14 are written, some are called Shankara Vijaya, some are called Guru Vijaya. And the oldest one is referred to as Brat Shankarya Vijaya. These are the biographies. But still we don't have confirmed biography, as we have some more biographies wherein they have given legends, where they have defined stories. Maybe some stories by the people itself, or maybe all stories were related to Shankara. And that was the story by Ananda Giri. Ananda Giri, that's also the biographical sketch. So that's also biographical sketch. So we'll come here to this, that what is the worship system? What's the worship system that was created by Shankara? somehow that's also related to Shankara, not only Advaita Vedanta. We have some more things. They say that these are the parts of Advaita Vedanta. If we go for deep analysis, it seems that these parts related to Advaita Vedanta, they go against the teachings of Advaita Vedanta. That is one is what we call 10 styled names. 10 styles names, or we call it as, I will write here, we have that we have that these Dashanami. We have Dashanami, or Dashanami, it's a monastic order. It's somehow a monastic order, and it's the how can I make you understand what it's actually? It's based on the monastic order, based on 10 names. You can understand it. You can understand it, because I will make you when you talk about Shanmata, two things. One is Dashamati, one is Dashanami, and one is Shanmata. Dashanami and Shanmata. Shanmata and Dashanami. Dashanami. They say this is related to Advaita Vedanta, and this is also related to Advaita Vedanta. What is this Shanmata? This is the worship system created by Shankara, people say. And what kind of worship system is this? That you have to worship Shiva, you have to worship what we call that Vishnu, you have to worship Shakti, or the Shakti means the power, you have to worship Ganesh, you have to worship this Surya, you have to worship also this is one is Ganesh, one is this Surya is 2, one is Shakti is 3, one is Vishnu is 4, one is Vishnu, Shakti, Shiva, Skanda. Yeah, these are the systems. 6 you have to, and they say who the Samaritan say that these 6 are the common reality. That means worshipping the ultimate Brahman, but that's not acceptable to all. That's not acceptable to all. So in this part we discussed about the biographical sketch about the teacher of this Shankara, about the comparative Vedic schools. So in our next school we may discuss about moksha, about this vidya knowledge, about vidya ignorance, about the supreme reality, and about all these things we may talk. So you can subscribe my channel in order to get more and more videos free of cost. So see you in our next talk, but you can note my address, bukharihamid786 @gmail.com. So see you in our next talk. Till then, goodbye.